Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Butternomics. I'm your host, Brandon Butler, founder and CEO of Butter ATL. And today, we got somebody extra special in the building today, y'all.
Extra special.
Extra special in the
Extra
building.
special.
You know, she said she didn't land the PJ outside, but look, I see it in the parking lot. It's taking up a couple spaces. So we're going to hurry up. We're going to get her through. We're not going to hurry up. We're going to get her out because she got important places to be.
I'm trying to get my face on mics.
It's only a matter of time. You know what? You got your face on everything else. Miss Keyeriah Miles, founder and CEO of LIV Golf. Keyeriah, how you doing?
I am great. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you in here. You
Thank
busy.
You for taking the time out to sit with me because I know you busy. Listen, back to back. I'm trying to keep up with you.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that. But you know what? I already know you got some big things coming up, big things happening, and we're gonna get into it. But first and foremost, one of the things I've started doing with people when they come into Butternomics, I usually tell people, tell us about yourself, folks that don't know all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm doing this lately. I asked ChatGPT
Not chat.
who Keyeriah Miles was, and look, I'm just saying, like this thing, it wrote a whole book on you.
What did chat
So I'm gonna read what Chat said about you, and you tell me if it's on or off. Where we at? Okay.
All right, let's get it.
This is a lot to read, so let me make sure I'm ready because this, everybody don't have this much. I'm just telling you right now. All right, Keyeriah Miles is the founder and CEO of LIV Golf, an Atlanta-based organization redefining the game of golf for professional career women by creating an inclusive, dynamic, and inspiring community. Established on September 16, 2023 by Keyeriah and her mother, Miss Miles, LIV Golf offers group lessons and opportunities for social and charitable engagement. While the majority of members are women of color, the organization is inclusive and welcomes every woman interested in learning the game of golf. Keyeriah's journey into golf began during her tenure as a fintech consultant at Cox Enterprises. In 2020, amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, she noticed colleagues maintaining client relationships through golf, one of the few open and socially distant activities at the time. Inspired, she took up the sport, eventually leading to the creation of LIV Golf. Under her leadership, LIV Golf has rapidly expanded, establishing chapters in multiple cities across the United States, including Baltimore, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Dallas, D.C., Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Pittsburgh, Tampa, and Seattle. The organization has become the largest golf community for women in the country. Beyond golf, Keyeriah emphasizes community building, mentorship, and philanthropy. LIV Golf focuses on diversity and inclusion initiatives, providing resources for community and charitable events, and mentorship for youth golfers, promoting mental health and awareness through monthly wellness events and professional development opportunities. Keyeriah's vision extends to the younger generation with the launch of Girls Who Golf, Inc., aiming to connect rising high school and college students with mentors from LIV Golf, fostering both golf skills and life guidance. Through her work, Keyeriah Miles is not only changing the face of golf, but is also creating a lasting impact on communities by empowering women and promoting inclusivity of the sport.
Let's go, chat. That was nice.
Let's go, Keyeriah. How about that?
Nice.
You're the one that did the work.
I didn't know she knew all that. That is great. That is 99% accurate.
Look, these chapters, I'm just saying.
Yes. So we have actually scaled back on some of those chapters.
Okay.
We have 11 chapters now. I think that lists out about 17. And at one point in time, that was accurate. But I learned scaling too fast can sometimes hinder you.
Yep.
And so I decided to take a step back and focus on the chapters that I knew had really great community already within. It just makes things a little bit easier for us being that we're not physically in those cities itself. And our presence makes a big difference. So we actually scaled back to ensure that this thing continues to grow at a great pace itself. I don't want to grow too fast. I don't need a hard crash or a fast crash.
No, you gotta scale appropriately. I definitely understand that. And when you're out here killing it, I'm sure lots of opportunities pop up and you're all over the place. You're getting pulled in lots of places. So you gotta kind of pick your shots, right?
Exactly. And the way that things have just taken off this year already. And I knew that was gonna be the case. Last year was kind of like us setting up the foundation for the organization. And I knew once I got that under my belt this year, things were really going to take off with partnerships and sponsorships and things of that such. And it is going in that direction itself. So I'm glad everybody's seeing the work and they want to be a part of the work.
I love it when the chart's always going up and to the right, as I say. Like, and I feel
Mm.
like the chart for you all is definitely going up and to the right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, again, a lot of people picked up hobbies during the pandemic. You weren't playing golf before the pandemic hit at all?
No, not at
Really?
all. Never had an interest in the sport. My brother grew up playing golf
Hmm.
with my stepdad, and golf was a boy sport for us. So I was a cheerleader, competitive cheerleading, dancer, gymnast, track, things of that such. Never had an interest in golf. Didn't even know women could actually golf. I didn't even know like pros, lady pros, LPGA was a thing. Until I actually started to take up the sport for work. And then I started to love it on a personal level and got into it from there. I mean, was just thrown in. And I love this sport. I love what it does for us as people um, in the professional field. I love what I get from it from a mental standpoint as well. For me, it really more so started out with wanting to meet up with my clients so that I can keep up with my colleagues and keep my job as
Hmm.
well. So I had to learn how to golf there. But then once I started to get out there and I see all that it's doing for me from a mental scale, I was a fintech consultant, which was at times high strung. It was sales. So, and I was actually the youngest member on my team. So I'm keeping up or trying to keep up with these gentlemen who have been in this game for years to come.
Yeah.
Have really built a great rapport with all of our really big time clients. So wanted to ensure that I could keep up with them. But for me, getting out there and just hitting that ball, taking my frustration out on that ball some days was a really great, relaxing moment for me. Um, then it got to the point where I wanted to golf with my friends.
Yeah.
They would probably come to the course with me maybe one or two times. And from there, drop off because they couldn't, build the patience or become consistent.
Hmm.
Golf is not one of them games where you can play one time and think you're going to get it. Um, I also feel as if us as Black people, we always dominate every sport naturally. And so sometimes when we get out there, we're trying to hit that little ball, we get frustrated because it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be able to do this. This
Yep.
is not supposed to be hard. I dominate everything. So a lot of them drop off immediately, and my mindset was there has to be other women who are interested in this sport, like that actually want to play. So we actually came up with this idea through this app called Geneva, and it literally connects you with people in your area who are interested in specific hobbies.
Okay.
And we actually still have that app now, and it's kind of how we keep in contact with all of our members. We are, I think we just reached 1,000 members on that app now,
Oh, congratulations.
which is great. But it's just one of those ways for us to stay in contact no matter what chapter. Every chapter has its own chat, but then we also have like an all members chat, but
Hmm.
we talk about everything through there. So started off with that, and then we conducted range meetups. So it's free to go to the range. It doesn't cost anything at any course. You just have to pay for your balls depending
Hmm.
on what course that is. So we would meet at Bobby Jones off Northside Drive because it was pretty central to the city. And come to find out, Bobby Jones actually has a golf academy in which they already teach lessons. And so we reached out to them and was like, we just want to host some lessons for some ladies, put it out on social media, decided to have what we call a social hour as well. So after the golf lessons, the ladies get together, have some drinks, have some food, and mix and mingle, network. You're
Hmm.
meeting women you haven't met before. So why not create a space to do so? We started out with one clinic, 14 ladies. We were doing this once a weekend or once a month. I want to say it started out as. And then we got to the point where we were having 5 lessons in one weekend every weekend. And those still had a wait list after
Yeah.
a while. So on average, we were touching about between 96 and 120 women a month,
Hmm.
introducing them to golf. We weren't member based either at first, but eventually we got to the point where we wanted to create some consistency. Some ladies actually wanted to advance past the beginner stage, so that meant okay, a membership program
Hmm.
itself, in which we can distinguish who's a beginner, who's an intermediate, who's advanced, who's ready to actually get out on the course and play instead of just clinics. And the membership part was ideal. It was great. We started to implement the social events outside of golf, the charitable portion as well. I'm really big on giving to those who give to you. And I feel like this city gives a lot to Ladies Who Golf. So I feel it's also my duty to make sure that we're doing our part, whether that's being hands on at the women's community kitchen or volunteering with Meals on Wheels and getting meals to our seniors. But now, really honing in on our kids
Hmm.
and introducing the sport to our kids, or being involved and active in any way that we can with their lives. And that's where the foundation part comes in now. So originally it was Girls Who Golf. And we recently decided to change that to Future Leaders Who Golf. We realized the resources that we have should be expanded to boys and girls, not just the girls, because the young males, they need that mentorship, they need the resources, they're interested in golf as well. So now we are Future Leaders Who Golf for the foundation.
Okay, now look, there's a lot to unpack there. Okay, like you just like you that's a lot, and I got a couple
Yes.
questions. I just got to go back on. First and
Let's get it.
foremost, what were the people at Bobby Jones saying when all of a sudden it went from just a couple ladies showing up to, like you said, 5
Mhm.
clinics a day? It was every day or every weekend essentially.
Every weekend.
Like
Mhm.
what was their reaction just seeing all this happening all of a sudden?
They loved it. They loved it because I don't think they've seen anything like that before. And then it kind of created a trend as well. It brought more money to the course.
Hmm.
The course is busier than ever, and that's a public course itself. Bobby Jones is also a full nonprofit course. So it's really all about how many people they're able to get out there each weekend. But then also just being able to see more women out on the course.
Yeah.
At one point in time when I was out there, like I stated, there were no women out there. So now every weekend that course is packed with women. They loved it. Our pros loved it. They had 5 pros, 2 of them were women. So it was also great for them to be able to have that interaction with ladies as well.
Hmm.
Before us, you also had Black Girls Golf by Miss Tiffany.
Yeah.
She's great. She's been doing that for years. Like literally leading the way. So to be able to see more women out on the course, they got a really great kick out of that.
Yeah, man, look, you got everybody coming out there all of a sudden. I played Bobby Jones a couple times. Like I've seen it.
Mhm.
Like it's a nice course to get started with. It's beautiful scenery and all that kind of stuff to get
Mhm.
going. What do you remember about? Because again, for somebody that didn't play to all of a sudden, not only playing but hosting this, like what do you remember about your first time on the golf course? Like what was it like for you? Like did it instantly click at that moment, or did you say, let me come back tomorrow and try this thing again? Like what do you remember about that first time you really went out there and started playing? Like did you play with clients the first time? Did you go there by yourself? Like what was it like?
So my first time going out there, was actually my first date at that course. I actually went for lunch because they have the restaurant on site.
Hmm.
And so I went for lunch, and as I was leaving, Marcus Williams, who is actually a golf instructor out there, or at that time was a golf instructor, and he came over and he was like, "Are you guys like leaving the course?" And we were like, "Yeah, we just had lunch." I was with my best friend at the time, and he was like, "Well, do you guys play?" And we were like, "No, never picked up a club a day in my life." And he was like, "Well, do you want to learn how to play?"
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know lessons was a thing. And he was like, well, I'll teach you guys for free solely because I just want to see more Black women out on the course. And
Okay.
so we started working with him 3 days a week. My first day out there was with him at the driving range. And I'm one of those people, I love to learn. And the thing about golf, no matter how long you play, how much you play, how advanced you are, there's always something new that you can learn.
Hmm.
And that first day out there, I thought I was gonna get discouraged. I thought I was gonna be nervous. Honestly, I didn't even know what to expect. But it was more so of him just getting me comfortable, letting me know you can always come out here anytime. You don't even have to be playing lessons and things of that such. And you don't know what you don't know. So I didn't even know the range was a thing. When he mentioned lessons, I thought we were actually getting out on the course and going through to
Yeah.
play. And it did not start like that at all. So you got to get the fundamentals down packed. So I actually didn't have any high expectations once again because I didn't know, but I also got introduced to the sport in the best way possible, and that was by someone who actually wanted to teach me the sport.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes not knowing or coming in without any preconceived notions is like the best way, right? Like you just kind of,
Mhm.
you're almost like a blank slate. And you don't really
Yes.
have any, any agenda. You're like, I don't know what I don't know. Just teach me, just show me. But then all of a sudden, you start falling in love with it. You're like, let's get
Mhm.
some other ladies out here. Your friends kind of went for a little bit and they didn't really come back like you wanted to. So you kind of started expanding it out and inviting other people in. Like, what were the first things you did to really kind of like start even telling people these clinics existed? Was it just
Mhm.
social media? You post on your own? Had you even started Ladies Who Golf yet? Or were you just saying, hey, look, if you're a lady that wants to learn how to golf, like come out here to Bobby Jones. We got clinics happening.
Yeah, I literally just started on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, my best friend is she has her own marketing agency and she had just started out. So when I came up with the idea, which is so crazy, came up with the idea August 2023, and I was like, I think I want to do something of this scale here. And I said, these are the colors that I have in mind. These are the fonts I have in mind. Like, this is the vision that I have. Can you create me a logo? And we'll go from there. I think I told her this 3 nights prior to. She sent me the logo back later, and I was like, "Oh, this looks great." So I got the website, got the domain, registered it. This wasn't even supposed to be a business. It was just supposed to be a hobby. But I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all in.
Mm-hmm.
And so she put the website together, and I said nothing about it to anyone. I'm one of those people, I really don't mention anything until it's done and
Yeah.
ready, solely because you don't know what could happen. Anything could change, and then I don't want to put it out there and we don't fall through with it or whatever the case, or something happens with the course and we can no longer do it. But put it out there on social media, I want to say 2 weeks prior to, and within that week, we were fully committed for that one lesson. And it went really well, but it was all social media, all social media.
And then as you all kind of started building into an actual, because you weren't charging for those at that
No,
time,
we
or you
were.
were charging?
No, we were.
So one of the most addictive things as a person that's done e-commerce and built e-commerce websites and kind of been in that space for a long time, like one of the most addictive things I think is when you see those payments start rolling through and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, this feels good. Like I'm sitting
Mhm.
here and all of a sudden, I don't know if you use Shopify, but I love Shopify because you get the
Yes.
little
Look,
cha-ching every
yes.
time something
Yep.
hits. Like when did you when you kind of started growing and building this thing, like when did you say, you know what, this is like really a thing? Hold on a
Mhm.
second here. Like when did that kind of kick in?
November of that year. So what, 2 months later? Um, I was actually still working for Cox.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was moving so fast. I'm like, 2 months? Like, this is crazy. Like, when you think about it, 2 months is not a long time, but we had to immediately like pivot to make sure we can accommodate everyone. And that was also making sure that the courses were on board as well, because who said they had the time? But once I got all of that figured out, I literally sat down and told myself, um, I'm going to give you this ultimatum and you're going to figure it out. Either you're going to stay with Cox or you are going to do this full time. And the great thing was, I had a relationship with Cox, have been there for years, had a great relationship with my director and my CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So if I needed to go back, I could go back. I left on good terms, but this was kind of like a moment where I decided I'm going to take a leap, a step out on faith, for myself, and it worked out that way. And once again, started out as a hobby, was not planning for this to become a full on business. And I wasn't even focused on the numbers at first. I think that's what helped. I was not focused on the numbers, more so of the community, like building of the community.
Yeah.
And the numbers will work itself out later on. And it did, thankfully. So, yeah, November, 2 months later, I kind of had that epiphany, like, okay, we got something going here. And if you keep going in this direction, it'll be all worth it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, you don't know product market fit until you launch something. Because, I mean, that's kind of the definition of marketing, right? Is like you're doing the research, you're figuring it out, and then
Mhm.
you bring it to the market. And the market typically is like, okay, I want that thing. And, like, that's why, again, when you drop something, it sells out or it goes crazy off the
Mhm.
rip because that's product market fit, right? People think that marketing is, trying to promote it. I'm like, no, that's advertising. Like, the marketing is all
Mhm.
the work you do behind the scenes to get it to that point.
Yeah.
But it sounds like y'all really kind of found a product market fit when you launched this pretty early on. Like, what were some of the things you think really pulled people in and said, you know what, I want this, even if I don't know I want this or need this. Like, yeah, I want to be out here
Mhm.
learning about golf with ladies who golf.
Um, I was pretty specific about the kind of community I wanted to create. And that was a community filled with professional career women, women who enjoy the same things, the same hobbies, same idealistics. And I think me not being afraid to say that, because I also feel like everyone wants to be so inclusive of
Mm-hmm.
everyone rather than sticking to a certain demographic or what works for you, or a community that you can create based on the demographic you want to have. Me honing in on that and staying true to that worked out really, really well. And once again, professional career women who like to travel, like to take part in certain social events, want to commit their time to charitable initiatives and things of that such, like to live a certain lifestyle, whatever the case, but all of those women wanted to meet other women who were just like them or had the same interests as
Yeah.
them, and it worked out that way.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's amazing. Again, like, and you've grown this thing. Obviously, it's going crazy now. It's safe to say this is probably a 7-figure business at this point.
not
Getting
yet.
close.
Getting
Okay.
close.
All
Getting
right.
close. Not yet. Because the winter. So winter things are a little bit slower in the
Yeah.
winter. So we're now getting back into the summer months, spring months, fall and all of that when golf really kicks off. So we experienced it pretty hard between November and February. No, March, I will say. But now things are starting to pick back up, thankfully, and we're just trying to make sure we can keep up with the demand and what's going on. But almost there, I would say, this year for sure. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, you were at Cox. Like, you were like, yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like on the cusp of. I mean, it's already successful, but like to see something like that, I'm sure it's got to feel really good.
It does. I don't know, it still hasn't set in for me. And maybe because I am always going.
Mm-hmm.
Once we complete one thing or accomplish one goal, I'm already focused on the next thing, which is I'm trying to do better with that because that is not always great. Sometimes you need to sit in it
Yeah.
and appreciate the moment and look at where you came from. But yeah, trying to stay in the moment sometimes is really hard for me at this point. But no, never thought we would get here. This was, like I said, 2 years before, but I've never thought it wasn't even an idea.
Had you ever like build a business or like dabbled in entrepreneurship before this?
I did actually. I used to have an online floral store.
Okay.
So right when the roses that like last forever, when they became a really big thing,
Mm-hmm.
I tapped into that market immediately. So my mother actually kind of instilled in me savings,
Mm-hmm.
like ensuring that you can save whatever you want to put that money into, whatever the case, do such. But working in corporate and making all the money that I was making, I'm single, I don't have kids, there's no reason why I should be blowing off my money.
Yeah.
So I'm really big in like investing and like seeing what works. I don't mind doing that at all. So I came up with the idea. I love flowers anyways, and I like passion projects for me. So a lot of things also start that way as well. So it was called Petals d'Amour, which is petals of love in French.
Okay.
Um, was online for a while. Right before COVID, COVID actually hit, and we weren't really doing well. I didn't think we were gonna do well because the roses were very expensive. Like our largest box was $450.
Okay.
Our least expensive box was $99. $99. And I'm like, no one's gonna be paying this money for these flowers. And it just so happened that one of my clients, she's based in Vegas, and she asked me when I was actually delivering some flowers for her in Atlanta, and she said, would you ever consider a business partner? And I said jokingly, no, I'll sell it to you before I do that, before I take your money and do that. Because at the time, COVID had just hit, and I was like, I'm not gonna take anybody's money, and I don't know, what's going on with the
Yeah.
with the climate. And she reached out to me 2 months later and said, are you serious about selling? I said, we could talk about it. And she was like, well, put together some numbers and the blueprint and things of that such. And me, and my husband will meet in a couple weeks. And we met. They offered me a number. I countered and I sold it to her.
So wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. So this wasn't your first thing. Like you had already had a successful exit in
Hmm.
some capacity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you? That's interesting because I've had some people on here that have done similar things. Like, and I don't think again people understand. Like even when you have those opportunities, like a lot of stuff falls apart at the last minute. Like you got to get those
Hmm.
deals done. What did you learn kind of going through that whole process of selling a business that you're kind of applying now with Ladies of Golf?
Um, don't sell too quick. Let me say that. Sit on it. Think about it. I feel like I rushed that just because I was in like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, I think for me at that time, I was scared to lose the money that I put in, being in debt. I'm really big on not being in debt. Lady Golf has me in debt now. But I'm not afraid of that debt. It's good debt. It's rewarding. Eventually I'll find my way out,
Yeah.
whatever the case. But sit on things. Don't make impulsive decisions. I feel like it was an impulsive decision at that time. But it worked out the way that it worked out, thankfully. But will I do that again? No. Mm-mm.
Let this one simmer a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Yeah, it's
If
early.
y'all doing
It's
this,
early. Take your
If
time,
y'all
figure it out.
if y'all doing this, I'm sure you know you have a little bit more space. You have a lot more options with that. Like, and one thing you even mentioned too is your mom. Like, your mom helped you with this. Like, she's also was a co-founder. Like, how does your mom
Hmm.
play into this whole thing?
So my mom's my co-founder, literally my right hand.
Okay.
Any and all decisions related to Ladies Who Golf, I make them with her. And it it's funny. It started out because when I brought her in the beginning, it was more so to assist with the admin side of things. She even said it herself. She was like, I don't want to be on the forefront. I don't want to be in any photos or anything like that. I don't want to be in meetings. I don't want to do any interviews. I don't want to do anything. I just want to help you on the backside of things. And I actually pulled her out of that space because I enjoy working with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Even prior to Ladies Who Golf, me and my mom have a very close relationship. Like, that is my number two. Um, but it's been a journey with her, also because no one has your back like your mom has your back, right?
Yeah.
And my mom also doesn't have like biased opinions because I'm her daughter. She tells me what it is straight up. So I'm happy that I have that because if I'm wrong, if the idea is wrong, if we need to pivot, I can count on her to ensure that we make the best decision possible for the organization itself. And then she's just also a great support system. My original investor, as
Mm-hmm.
I like to call her as well. Um, but yeah, it's a great journey. Being able to make these memories with her as well. And I also feel like Ladies Who Golf also gives her a second life because she's been able to meet other people, build community on her
Yeah.
own as well. Originally, my mom is from Alabama. She's only in Atlanta because of me. So she doesn't have family here. We don't have family here. It was new for her, different for her, leaving home. But I'm happy that she's here. And once again, through this, she kind of has a second life
I
with
bet.
doing things.
I bet she's just smiling ear to ear,
Yes, she's having a good time.
seeing how all this stuff is coming together. Now, do y'all actually get out there and play golf together sometimes too?
Sometimes she plays more than I do.
Okay.
Actually, funny enough, because my mother never played golf either. So she grew up playing softball.
Okay.
And she actually had her own softball team. And we actually realized this a couple months ago. It was called Lady Majestics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Ladies Who Golf. And when I created Ladies Who Golf, it's been a long time, like years, probably like 15 years since she had that softball team. But their colors are the exact same colors as Ladies Who Golf now,
Look at
which is
that.
so crazy. Like, how did it come around back to that? But she grew up playing softball. So naturally, when she started taking up golf, it wasn't hard for her.
Mm-hmm.
But she plays more than I do because I am now like handling a lot of the admin side of things. But then also, I'm really just trying to like push her out of that shy shell and
Yeah.
getting out more and being around people and things of that such. So she's out there more than I am now. We switch roles.
Yeah, Mom's is cool. I remember meeting her at the Falcons game that time. You know, Mom's
Mm-hmm.
is cool. I can see she
Mm-hmm.
gets out there, probably has a good time with it.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Now, again, I rattled off in the beginning. It felt like about 100 different cities that y'all are at. You know, y'all are also, you know, expanding internationally, right?
Yes,
Like, and
yes,
all these things are
yes.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that international expansion. Like, how's that going?
So that will take part July, the weekend of July 4th. So we actually have a partnership with Barbados Tourism,
Okay.
and we are hosting our first members retreat to Barbados. During that time, it's really just a moment for our members to come together all from all over. So whether you're in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, everyone's just coming together. We're gonna play some golf. We're gonna do some charity work. We're also gonna have a little fun as well. But we're also gonna be hosting our first Ladies Who Golf Barbados Golf Clinic.
Okay.
And that's just for the locals, getting them introduced to the sport, creating a community for the women there who've had an interest in the sport as well. And so they see us on social media, and when we announced the partnership with Barbados, it literally like took off. Did not think that was gonna happen. But that will be our first take on that, and then growing from there. So ideally, we'll be starting with Barbados. We have a partnership with Five Iron Golf, and they just actually launched their Dubai location. So we're actually planning some things with them later in the year to be able to introduce Ladies Who Golf Dubai as well. But that
See,
is later in the year.
see, I told y'all the PJ was outside. I told
Man,
y'all
get
the
the
PJ
PJ
was.
ready. Get the PJ ready. Let's go.
What would be, you know, one of your dream places to, you know, have a Ladies Who Golf chapter?
Um, hmm. Surprisingly, back home, Alabama.
Okay.
So
What part of Alabama?
Montgomery.
I know Montgomery very well. Okay. Gump City.
Montgomery. So we got a lot of history there, a lot of family legacy there, and I think it's only right, but I want to do it the right way. Um, Montgomery is not like big city life and things of
Hmm.
that such. So just ensuring that we do have the community there to where it will be successful. That's one of our biggest things right now, just ensuring that we will have the community there, people who are interested, ladies who are interested.
Yeah.
But I think at this point it's finally time to just do it and just see what works from there. Most of the cities that we have launched in have been major metropolitan cities itself. But I do want to tap in even to like Augusta, Savannah,
Yeah.
Macon, the smaller areas where there are ladies there who are interested in golf and they don't want to drive up to Atlanta. It's not ideal to drive all the way here for golf. So yeah, working and establishing chapters in those smaller areas is the next goal.
We had a Lajuan on from East Side Golf, and they had done something with the
Man,
Masters.
they doing it
I
big.
just I don't know. I feel like if you haven't done it already, the Masters is going to be in your future very soon. Something tells me that's what's going to happen.
We just did the Masters.
Oh,
We
see,
did the
see,
Masters.
look at that.
We did it. It was, man, beyond my wildest expectations. So we went on behalf of Delta.
Okay.
Um I don't know what I thought I was going to experience. I thought it was just going to be walking the greens, experiencing Augusta National, the pimento cheese sandwiches and things of that such. And I actually have not talked much about our experience there. So there are these cottages that sits on, I want to say like the 10th hole or something like that. And it's 6 of them. And they're all owned by their major partners,
Right.
one of them being Delta. The experience with Delta was nothing that you see that most people are posting about Augusta National. We had 5-star meals around the clock, Butler service. We had our own personal photographer out on the greens with us, which is crazy because you're not supposed to have
Yeah.
phones and
No phones
cameras
or
and all
cameras.
of
Yeah.
that. So people were looking at us like, who are these women and what's going on? But the way that they welcomed us, um, Delta actually, before golf even became this huge thing for women or a trend for women in itself, Delta has always pushed women in golf forward. They actually have a full women in golf sector,
Okay.
which a lot of people do not know about. So I'm happy that if we were to partner and experience such with any brand, it was with them because they truly put the work in to ensure they push forward women in golf. But the experience itself was crazy. The greens were beautiful. Um, of course, Rory won, so we
Yeah.
got to see that as well. Got to see history being made. But it's one of those things I cannot wait to share with my kids, my grandkids. I'm like, we went to the Masters,
Look at that.
So hopefully next year we'll be able to do something where we can take members or introduce more members, even if it's not everyone, but just being able to share that experience with more ladies.
It's always a beautiful thing. Like when you really stop and think about it, right? Like I always say like the mind's ability like to manifest things in reality and the things that come out of that.
Mhm.
I know I've had a lot of moments with Butter where it's like, man, I can't believe I'm here because I started this thing and it's just kind of like taken off. Like I'm
Mhm.
sure you have moments like that as well, right? Especially at Masters is probably one of them.
Oh, absolutely. It was that. I had to stop and truly just thank God for the moment. Like I took some time off to just go walk by myself and
Yeah.
look at the greens like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm up close to the players like this. I can't believe I get to experience this." This little girl from this small town in Alabama. I do not come from a wealthy family. Um, my great grandparents were a part of the first Black Panthers Union in Alabama itself. They actually started that. My great grandfather was the first Black sheriff, the first tax commissioner in our town. We're from a town right outside of Montgomery called Lowndes County,
That's nice.
and there's a show on Peacock called Bloody Lowndes.
Mhm.
At one point in time, Lowndes County was the most dangerous city in America at one point in time. So coming from where we come from and being able to not only dominate this male field, but this white male field, I'm sure my great grandfather is looking down on us like this is where all of my hard work has gone into.
Yeah.
So I make sure once again to soak it in, to do our part, and know that there were people that came before us to ensure that we're able to take advantage of opportunities like this.
Oh, I know about Montgomery and the Edmund Pettus Bridge and all that stuff very well. My
Mhm.
mom's from Alabama too. I always say she's from
Oh.
the other LA, Lower Alabama. I gotta like
Yeah.
show you on a map.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
it's like just say like go like
Yep.
2 hours south of
Mhm.
Montgomery.
Mhm.
And she's in there somewhere. But I know that route very well. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been up and down those streets. Like Now, one thing that's always interesting too is you talk about like the relationship you had with Delta. I think people think about like partnerships and sponsorships and all that stuff, but just
Mhm.
even with some of those things, like how do those things even come about? Are these, through members? Are these like them seeing what y'all are doing and reaching out? Are you like pitching them? Like how do some of these great opportunities even come about?
Honestly, being in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to say that we truly like have our boots on the ground,
Yeah.
seriously. So we get out here, we make sure we meet people, we network. Any event that we go to, especially I had to even like tell my board this a while back. Whenever we go to events and things of that such, we are never going to be congregating amongst one another.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to be out talking to people, getting to know everyone, talking about the brand, sharing the story and who we are. I could talk to a brick wall. I could talk to anyone. So I think that in itself allows me to be very approachable. And a lot of brands tend to reach out once again, solely just wanting to support the organization. But I feel like it starts with us. We're very welcoming. Our members like to say that as well. We're very welcoming, and that's just I think it's just like the Southern roots in us. Um, and because of such, everybody wants to see us win. Truly, we put out good things, so we get good things back. Our members as well, they ensure that whatever that they can do on behalf of Ladies Who Golf and connecting us in the right areas, they do that as well. Social media, a lot of people are reaching out via social media as well. Social media, honestly, we have taken advantage of that, and I'm going to
Yeah.
continue to take advantage of social media. Just putting the word out there and making sure the visibility is there as well. But a lot of it's meeting people in person, making sure that you connect and talk to people. But our members also do their part as well.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, again, you talk about your board and everything else. One of the things I hear about when people come on, especially people that are building things on Butternomics, they talk about building that team and like getting the right people, on your
Mhm.
side. Like, what's that whole experience been like? And what's it taught you about leadership?
Um, up and down, up and down, trying to ensure that, you don't wanna have anybody apart just to have them apart. Everyone needs to be able to be an asset, whatever way that is.
Hmm.
Um, and I had to take my personal feelings out of some things as well. So starting this out as a hobby, I am very attached to Ladies Who Golf. So it was very hard going from this being something I loved on a personal scale to this is now a business and you have to treat it as such.
Yeah.
Two completely different mindsets. And I am still trying to wrap my head around that as well. But I get attached to our members. I get attached to our board. I get very attached. And my mom has have to tell me this all the time. You can't do that because you're going to drive yourself insane. So making sure that you have a great team, it takes time, and everyone should take time to build such. Setting boundaries as well is a big thing. Having um, a great eye for discernment is one of the things I'm also learning as well. All within the last year, I want to say, and I still have a lot to learn, but I'm thankful and I feel very confident that we have a great team, we have a great board. Everybody kind of has their own thing that they get to do within, and I try to attach everyone's not personal work, but what they have a passion for, from a personal level along with what they're doing with Ladies Who Golf. So like the ladies who are over our wellness and social sectors, that's something that they already have a passion for and do on their own. So it's easy to be able to implement that here as well. Those who are over strategic partnerships, that's something that they do in their real time, day-to-day life as well. So it worked out that way, which is what it should be anyways. But I think we're at the point where we have a great team, a solid team, a great foundation. And things may change within, the next few months or years or whatever the case. But not being afraid to make those changes also is another thing that I'm learning as well. So,
Yeah. Like again, it's somebody said it once. It was like you have to be open to like editing the team is how they kind of look
hmm
at it, right? Because
yeah.
again, like again, like I remember talking to Jasmine Crow from Gooder on here. She's like, yeah, the folks that get you to 1 million might not get you to 10 million, might not get you
hmm
to 50, right? And so you got
hmm
to be open to that and figuring out how to kind of grow it. Atlanta's interesting because I always say like Atlanta's like a hustling city.
hmm
And a lot of people out here, they talk about entrepreneurship, and what you notice is they haven't actually had corporate jobs. And personally, as a person that's been in corporate myself and been there for a while and like worked my way up, all the way up and down that ladder, I think you learn a lot. You learn a lot about running a business and a lot of things you kind of notice with people like, I know you're just trying to figure it out, but like this is
Yeah.
actually how you do things. Like, how did your experience in corporate kind of help, train you and get you ready for what you're doing right now with Ladies Who Golf?
Everything I know right now for Ladies Who Golf is something I learned in my corporate life. Honestly, I don't think anyone should venture into entrepreneurship until you've had corporate experience. It's a cheat code, honestly.
Yeah.
You should be utilizing that time, making money on somebody else's dime to push forward what you want to do. So from sales to marketing to just learning how to talk to people, learning how to handle business deals and meetings and partnerships and asking for what I want, demanding what I want. I learned that from the sales structure of things. And then also being a woman in a male dominant role. Of 35 people on my team, there was only 2 women. So I had to learn how to advocate for myself, which has now taught me how to advocate for others, advocate for our members, advocate for the women that want to play golf. Um, all because once again, I have that corporate experience. I even have mentees now. They'll come to me and they'll say, I want to have a meeting because now I am thinking about tapping into entrepreneurship. I have this great idea. This is something that I want to do. And the first thing I always ask, even if they're not a mentor, this question has come up often. So what do you do now?
Yeah.
And they tell me, and I'm like, oh, well, how long have you been with your company? Oh, yeah, I just graduated school about a year ago and I've only been with this company for a couple months or a year. We can't even have a conversation about entrepreneurship because you have not learned enough.
Yeah.
And I am not going to do you a disservice by telling you, no, go ahead, tap into entrepreneurship. That's the ways of the land. We should be working for ourselves and things of that such. No, you need to learn all that you can on someone else's dime rather than on your own because you are going to fail. Even if you do have that experience, we experience failures.
Mhm.
Everyone does, but I feel as though the crash would be a little bit less painful if you did have that experience under your belt from the corporate structure. So I'm really big on that.
Yeah, you get a chance to, like you said, learn just how to do business. Like I think again, a lot of people out here trying to just hustle and figure it out, and
Mhm.
hustle can take you a certain way, but at a certain point, you got to really understand, like, okay, this is how business operates. This is how you
Mhm.
do certain things. If not, it just makes things easier for you. And I can see it with a lot of people, and I kind of give them that same advice. But like, look, man, look, I understand you want to be an entrepreneur. It's totally cool, but like, you do things a certain kind of way for a certain kind of reason. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah.
I think we make
Exactly.
it a lot harder for ourselves.
Exactly. I definitely thought this was going to be a lot harder than it is, and I think the reason why it's not is because I know how to talk my way into things. I know how to ask for what I want. I know how to advocate for what I want now. And a lot of it, I feel like a lot of things that I get on behalf of Ladies Who Golf or established for the organizations, partnerships, and sponsorships and things of that such is because I'm very confident. Even if I'm not sure, even if I don't have all the answers, I'm still very confident in what I want
Yeah,
and what I stand on. And people see that. And that's a part of leadership that some people do lack. Confidence is everything. And you can learn everything else along the way. And a lot of people will actually offer to teach you along the way. But as long as you have the confidence, they're willing to back that any
absolutely.
day.
Now you mentioned like again, people run into like failures and stuff. Is there anything that you all have tried to do like that just hasn't worked out, but it really
Mhm.
taught you something about the business and what you're doing in general?
The scaling part, as I mentioned earlier, not trying to scale too fast. At one point in time, we was excited to say, "Oh yeah, we got 17 chapters. We're gonna be in this city," and that was actually on behalf of our partnership with Five Iron because they were located in all of those areas.
Hmm.
And so we just thought it would be a great idea if we just go ahead and establish Ladies Who Golf chapters in those areas with them. And for a few months, it did really well. And this is where my personal attachment comes into play. We couldn't develop those personal relationships with those members in those areas. And I feel as if it wasn't what we were doing in Atlanta wasn't resonating in those other areas. Even though we have ambassadors and things of that such to advocate on our behalf,
Yeah,
it's not the same. So I didn't want to risk, once again, crashing because of such. And I was willing to also, take the hit to the chin and have to scale back. And that's just what it is. And that was the best thing I could have done for our organization so far because now I feel as though we get to gradually scale and make an even bigger difference. And when it gets to that point and we want to add in more cities, we will do that. I mean, we're launching Palm Beach this weekend, which is very exciting, but it's one at a time rather than everything all at once. You need to make sure you have I actually watched a video this morning. Donnie Wiggins
Hmm.
from her podcast, and she mentioned, with scaling, you also need to make sure you have a checklist
Yeah.
for every moment that you decide to make with your business. And when we were scaling, I needed a checklist for each chapter rather than a broad checklist that I'm trying to make work for everyone. It
Hmm.
doesn't work like that. Every location is different. The culture is different everywhere. So having to realize that that was a good point that she made, and that's exactly one of the sentiments I realized early on. You need to have a checklist for everything that you're doing regarding your business.
And let me ask you, and I'm asking this question for a very specific reason too. When you, again, call it a failure, just not working out, but like when those things happen, did anybody laugh at you? Did anybody tell you ah ha ha,
Mm-hmm.
or did like you just kept going? Like what happened?
No, because no one knew.
Exact. So the reason why I say that is because again, like people, I think get so caught up in thinking that if they do something and it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
out, there's somebody quick to point at them and be like,
Yes.
ah,
Yeah.
you messed up. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not saying nobody cares, but like nobody's gonna notice like the way you're gonna notice. And you know what? You make the decision and you just keep moving and life
Mhm.
goes on, right?
Exactly, exactly. And don't get me wrong, that was kind of my mindset as well. But having to get myself out of that mind frame, like everyone's not watching everything that you're doing. Like
Right.
no one cares. No one cares. And I think that's what a lot of people have to realize. No one's watching every single move that you're making. I mean, you may have a couple people here and there, but if they are, they're not even on your level to even have the time to be able to do that. Let's
Yeah.
start there. So no one cares. Do what you need to do what's best for you and keep it going. But no one knew. I mean, no.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I just
Mm-mm.
wanted to ask that specific question because I do feel like a lot of times people either don't do things or they hold on for something too long or they don't want to make those
Mm-hmm.
decisions because they think there's like somebody that's going to pop up and call them out. And I'm like, no, that's not what's going to happen,
No.
y'all. Like
Mm-mm.
you do it, and again, if you take a little bump, you learn from it and you keep on moving. Like
Exactly.
there are very few situations in which you're even in that kind of situation in the first place, right? Like
Yeah.
this is not. I always say this isn't rocket surgery.
Yeah. And I'm really big on not sitting in things.
Yeah.
Meaning if it's something bad, like say for instance, if I do fail at something, I give myself my rule. You have one day to be mad about it, cry about it, whatever you want to do, soak in it. If you don't want to work for the day, if you don't want to bother with anyone, you take that one day. But that next day, you need to be back on it.
Get back out there.
So I always make sure I say that and I do that. Once again, I want to make sure I am taking the time out to feel things and to experience whatever the case, but I'm not going to sit in it too long. No.
Absolutely. Now, earlier you talked about the other program y'all have. It's called Girls Who Golf, and then there was
Mhm.
another. What was it called? The
So originally it was Girls Who Golf, and we just changed it to Future Leaders Who
Future
Golf.
Leaders Who Golf.
Hmm.
That's what it is now. Like, what kind of impact are you seeing with that?
Oh my goodness. So I would have never thought, for one, with this, our idea was to partner with 8 different organizations, Atlanta-based organizations, and have these golf clinics for their kids. Just a summer program itself. And when we had our first, it went really, really well. But then we started to get in contact with different celebrities who have their own golf tournaments. So our most recent one was Neo's first golf tournament. And he has a foundation in which they work with an orphanage itself as well, and they wanted to introduce some of the kids to the sport. They also had some of the kids out there from 100 Black Men as well, but they wanted to have a clinic sector for the kids in addition to the golf tournament for the actual players. And I think that's going to be a big trend that ends up happening over the next year or two because it's a great way, once again, to give back. Most of the time, when celebrities are having their charity golf tournaments, is to give money back to these youth programs itself.
Hmm.
But why aren't you involving the kids in the actual sport as well?
Yeah.
Especially, we're talking minorities. We need the sport to be introduced to more of our kids. And I feel like it starts with us because Black kids don't look at golf like they look at football or basketball. It's not looked at as a cool sport. Like it's for private school kids or whatever the case. It's a lame sport. Let's just call it what it is. They look at it as a lame sport. There's $18 million a year in college scholarships that are left on the table for Black kids. They don't have to be good at the sport. They don't have to be interested in taking it pro. They just want them to have that money towards whatever they want to utilize it for school itself, and we need more kids taking advantage of that. So for me, Right now, it's about introducing these kids to the sport now,
Hmm.
early on. Um, I don't want them to miss out on that opportunity, and I can talk about this now because it's solidified. So we're actually matching and partnering with LIV Golf.
Okay.
They're actually going to be having their first tournament of the season in Virginia next month. One of their teams, Smash Golf, actually has a golf scholarship that they give out to their kids, and we're going to be matching that scholarship as well. But the goal is to get more people involved, more golfers involved to match as well and make that scholarship more than what it is already so that we can award it to more kids. And we're actually going to be, instead of one golfer, originally it was one golfer that they're going to be choosing. But now with our partnership, we actually get to choose the second golfer, which is going to be a female junior golfer.
Okay.
So they have to be a senior in high school. And the criteria is actually not much. Like you just have to have a 2.5 GPA, conduct a mini essay, but they can use those funds for whatever they want regarding school. They don't even have to be going to school to golf, but they're currently junior golfers
Yeah.
itself. So even the insight from that, and just knowing that Live is going to be backing us itself. So I don't know if you know, but Live is based in Saudi Arabia,
Hmm.
and the fact that they're going to be technically their first major partnership in the US is going to be with us is a really, really big deal. I think it's going to put Atlanta on the map, even broader in the golf sector itself. So I'm really excited about that.
No, that's major. Congratulations.
Thank
Liv
you.
came in
Thank
and
you.
shook everything up a couple of years ago, right? So I
They
already know what they're
did. They
doing.
did. They did. And I love what they're doing itself because it's really for Live, it's really about the culture of golf.
Hmm.
And we're about the culture of golf. So the fact that we get to partner with them and have them backing our small organization, small but mighty, it's a big deal for us.
Well, yeah. When you talk about culture, you fast forward a second, 5 years down the road, Ladies Who Golf is in Barbados and,
Mhm.
in Dubai and all these amazing places. And who else knows where it's going to be like? What does success look like? And like, what do you want your impact to be like? Not just from like a size and like money standpoint, but really like
Mhm.
culturally when it comes to golf.
I need Ladies Who Golf to be in every state in America.
Okay.
Okay. For one, in addition to our Future Leaders Who Golf program, I want to conduct a large college scholarship program for our kids when it comes to golf. In addition to corporate engagement programs itself, I don't want to leave out our ladies or the gentlemen as well. I also want to make the sport more welcoming to Black men who haven't tapped into it just yet as well from a lesson standpoint.
Hmm.
We have some Black men who are very interested in golf, but they don't think they're going to be as good as the guys they already see out there. But they're also, their ego gets in the way of them taking lessons as well. And we need to make it cool for our Black men to want to take lessons and participate in golf clinics and things of that such as well. So that's one of the things I definitely want to tap into as well because I don't see that happening enough.
Yeah, I think we're definitely, if we haven't already, I 100% think that we're just at an inflection point in the culture when it comes to just like Black people in golf in general. Like I
Mhm.
was at the tour championship last year
Mhm.
and kind of hanging out, and I got a shirt. And it's always funny, like whenever I walk around with my PGA Tour shirt on, I get stopped at least 2 or 3 times. Like, oh, do you play? Hey,
It's a
who?
conversation
It's a
starter.
conversation starter. So I'm
Mhm.
telling people, like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's time to get on
I
out there, y'all.
I did that the other day. I went to a event for Marie Claire, and it was a panel event at the St. Regis, and I knew everyone was going to be dressed up. Like I knew it, and I was like, okay, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to naturally have people come up to you and just want to talk to you?
Hmm.
I threw on my green Masters jacket that I have, and I threw on my Masters baseball cap. I'm the only person in there with a baseball cap on, but if you look at all the media regarding that event, guess who's everywhere?
Yeah.
Guess who was talking to everyone? And that's a lot of things. Another thing people have to realize too, you are your brand. Market yourself, market your brand through yourself as well.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what I did. And it worked out best. But it is a conversation starter. People want to know, did you go to the Masters? Oh my gosh. Like, how was that? What was that like? So you're a woman who golf? Really? Oh, you have an organization. How can I join?
Yeah.
How can I support? How can we sponsor? Oh, I also heard about you as well. But we didn't know. A lot of people don't even know that we're based here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
They don't know that at all, which is so crazy. I think I need to do a little bit more marketing on that, man. But since we're everywhere now, no one really knows exactly where we're based unless you know we're based here in Atlanta. But yeah, it's a great conversation starter. So yeah.
Well, look, I have a feeling that if they don't know, they're gonna know very soon. So, congratulations on everything. Again, the rise, all the amazing stuff that's happening. I know you're super excited, but I'm extremely happy for you and just
Thank
all the stuff y'all
you.
are doing. It's so important. I'm getting my kids out there. I'm just telling you right now. So
Come on,
let me
come
know. Look,
on.
we need
Are
some
you
of the
out there?
scholarships. I need to get out there. I need to quit messing around. That's my big thing. Look, all right, go ahead and sign me up. I'm quit
Come
playing
on,
around.
come on. We're gonna start a gentleman who golf.
Let's go.
Gentlemen who golf. Let's
Let's
do
go.
it. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. Count me in. I need to get out there. I've been saying it. I was talking to Ryan Cameron. Everybody's like, Brandon, you got to get out there.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
let me get my
It's
behind out there
time.
and quit messing around.
We got that. You know what? Actually, we need a 404-day golf tournament.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Come on.
Done. Let's go.
That would be
404 golf.
great.
Let's
Let's
make it
do
happen.
it. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. Look, y'all heard it here on Butternomics. 404 golf tournament coming next year.
2026.
Let's,
We got it.
hey, let's make it happen. Well, Kira, thank you so much for pulling up. Before you get out of here, please tell people how can they find, support you all, and give them all the things.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me and for allowing me to showcase our platform on your platform.
Absolutely.
Ladieswhogolf.com, on all socials at Ladies Who Golf Club. If you want to join us for a golf lesson, we are in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, New York, Chicago, DC, Miami, Los Angeles, Palm Beach this weekend. So yeah, come out, join us. We have tennis as well. We have a couple different social events as well. So yeah, just decide what you want to do and when you want to meet us out on that green.
Well, look, this is going to be amazing. Y'all get on out there. I'm going to get on out there. Like I said, 404-day golf tournament coming soon. But again, congratulations in all seriousness. What
Thank
you've
you,
built is amazing. Again, I know your mom's proud. I know everybody's proud. But, most importantly, it's giving something back to the culture needs. So we are
Absolutely.
proud of you here at Butternomics as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Butternomics for all the support.
Absolutely. And with that said, that's the pod, y'all. We out.